Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at the top story we are tracking for you. Russia says it is disappointed by the United States. Well, that's not new. Let's tell you what happened this time. Moscow has proposed to Washington, D.C. for talks over European security. But the U.S. says it will not negotiate without its European allies present at the table. Now, Russia wants a legally binding guarantee. It wanted to start talking as soon as Saturday. Russia wants the NATO military alliance to give up all military activity in Eastern Europe and Ukraine. Moscow calls this essential for lowering tensions, but the West is not impressed. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and he made a promise. The UK vowed to use all its diplomatic and economic powers to protect Ukraine. This is not going to settle well with Russia. But that's not all. The European bloc has threatened Moscow with tougher sanctions. Listen in to what the European Commission President said.
Our concern related to Russia's military buildup on the eastern Ukrainian borders are well known. Our position is very clear. We maintain our call on Russia to de-escalate tensions and refrain from any further aggression. We would like to be in a situation where relations with Russia are good, but this is very much depending on the choices made by Moscow. So let there be no doubt, if Russia were to move against Ukraine, the Union will be in a position to take sanctions that could extract a massive cost.
So the tensions between Russia and the West is palpable. Both sides are refusing to back down. The West says it is standing by its ally against a foreign troop buildup. But Russia sees no problem in its troop buildup because Moscow calls its move purely defensive and says that it has the right to move its military within its territory as it sees fit.
Вашингтону и его союзникам по НАТО следует незамедлительно прекратить регулярные враждебные действия против нашей страны, включая внеплановые учения, опасные сближения и маневрирование боевых кораблей и самолетов, прекратить военное освоение украинской территории.
For more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us live from New York. Good evening to you, Susan. Thanks for being with us. Now, with all sides, including the US, Europe, and Russia, hardening their positions on the matter, does a breakthrough anytime soon seem likely?
It's hard to imagine a breakthrough would be likely, but possibly a de-escalation. That itself also remains in question, considering the fact that this letter that Russia sent seems dead on arrival, and there is nothing new in it, really. These are requests that the Russian president had made to President Joe Biden and the European Union prior to this meeting that the Russians want, and one needs to wonder whether or not it really is to put the attention, the headline, and the focus on Vladimir Putin scoring another crisis meeting with Joe Biden, which it seems the Americans have sort of caught on to. That's why they're saying that there won't be another meeting unless there is one with European allies at the table, also signaling to Vladimir Putin that Europe and the United States seem to be at the same page when it comes to dealing with Russia, at least when it comes to imposing sanctions. That was something that Vladimir Putin was betting on when he moved forward with this provocation regarding Ukraine. He was hoping that when it comes to the economic aspect of it, perhaps Europe might sort of be a little more lenient than the United States. But breakthrough, it's hard to see a sense of de-escalation and stagnation, that that something of that sort may come about from it, and Russia may find it more beneficial to step back than move forward.
Right. Now, Susan, is there any clarity on what could be the highest levels of sanctions that the Biden administration has been threatening to impose on Russia?
A number of sanctions and a number of measures that policymakers say would really hit Russia tough that the United States hasn't targeted so far. That could be targeting Russia's oil and gas sector, targeting its international banking system. It uses the SWIFT banking system. That would be extremely harsh. That's something that the United States used against Iran, and it really did put a dent in its economy before because of its nuclear activities. That might be one measure. And then also, we talk about the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, a deal that Russia made with Germany. Well, that's on the one hand that it did, but policymakers here in the United States say that there could be targeted sanctions on the construction of that pipeline as well. And that might sort of bring Russia in line with what the United States and its Western allies are looking and hoping to achieve.
Right. Susan, thank you very much for bringing us all those details.